a transaction for us called currency revaluation. If we pop down, we look here, the price of the Bitcoin at the current exchange rate resulted in a gain of $67.88. Prices fall, we're going to have losses. Prices go up, we're going to have gains. You get to determine the frequency for which you're going to recognize that and look at that. Now that we actually have a gain and loss transaction, we can go over to our income statement to see what the presentation of that would look like. So, a couple things I want to just show here. One, on the income statement, we can see we had sales of $721.16, but they were actually done in a different currency. They were done in micro Bitcoins. So here's your revenue side. Down at the bottom, which is traditionally where the presentation is for gains and losses, at the bottom here represents the cumulative gains and losses from all the different currencies that you're working with in your business reported on the income statement. These gains and losses then are reported just like everything else you do in your business. This helps you meet your regulatory requirements. So I think what's most important here to just see is that global organizations that are working with multiple currencies and so forth are used to this. This is all standard practices. There's nothing weird going on. By treating Bitcoin as a foreign currency, you're going to have the listening of major organizations and so forth. They'll know how to treat it. They'll know how to then report on it. These practices will help with adoption worldwide, and this is my vision on ways we need to go to make things very easy and to increase our adoption. At this point, I think I'll just open it up for questions. If you could use the mic, that would be great. Thank you.
Hi. I just have a bunch of really quick questions. Hopefully I'm not repeating anything you've mentioned already. I'm going to just spit them out really quickly. Is this a finished product? What is your pricing model for this? Are there example customers? And how does your software, how frequently does your software update the US dollar value or whatever currency value that we Bitcoin?
This software is alpha, so that we do not have any live customers. We have beta customers that are lined up. Pricing model is to be determined. There is a pricing model.
Can you give us a hint?
Well, something that would be very compelling from the merchants. It's probably somewhere around 1% or less. One of the things I probably didn't show here is that the transaction fees that we will be charging will also get debited and credited into their bank accounts so that it's all hands off. Frequency for which the currency will update. In this implementation, we're going to suggest every 15 minutes, just because it produces processing, it takes away some from the processing power of their own things. But that's really up to the organization. These are parameters that can be set by them.
One really quick last question. What is your ETA to a finished product? Thank you.
Well, I would probably say we'll probably be making a formal announcement, summer. Thank you. Other questions? You can use the mic.
Cool, thank you. I was wondering, is it set up to use Litecoin, Feathercoin, other currencies, or just Bitcoins right now?
Today's implementation right now is only in Bitcoin. There's no reason why, the way we architected this, that we could change out different kinds of engines and so forth. Naturally, we're trying to go where we think the market is, so Bitcoin makes sense. Eric? Yes.
One thing that you didn't cover there was, in your demonstration was, and I'm more interested in kind of the more abstract accounting as opposed to your specific implementation, but how would you represent the exchange accounts when the company or the business entity is essentially selling or converting its own currency, how would you represent that?
Well, I was thinking about that today, actually. I probably want to prototype it a little bit, but I would probably have two bank accounts. Meaning, again, we're treating these as bank accounts. I would set up two bank accounts, one for Bitcoin, one for the target repository of the currency you're trying to get to, I'm assuming USD. And then I would probably do an accounting where I would have 4 journal entries. I would have, if I'm selling the Bitcoin, I would credit Bitcoin cash. Right? I would probably debit some kind of holding account on the income statement. And then the corresponding price of that, I would debit USD cash on the other account, and I would credit the same account, and that result of it would represent the gain or loss and hit the income statement appropriately.
Excellent. And if I could just make a suggestion, if you could design your software in such a way that you could take history outputs from the exchange, like for example, now Docs reports it in like CSV format, so we could import CSV format and can create those, I think you have a winner right there.
Sure. Well, we are using today Mount Scott's API to get pricing, right, and so forth. There's no reason why we couldn't just fill that table, and then once you have that table, you have no problem producing graphs and all the other good things that you get to have. Those are all just sort of freebies that you get in a nice financial system.
Right. Just to clarify, I meant the actual transactions in terms of the exchanges.
Oh.
You say you would essentially create 4 journal entries if you could have maybe your software took the data from the exchange and created those.
I'm anticipating that our customers are likely going to want to have things like that, and then these would be great enhancements because our vision for this, and I think it should be for everyone, would be that you want as trouble-free implementation as possible. Vision around this is let's get the bookkeepers out of worrying about it. What I'm listening to when people are trying to transact with Bitcoin, they're very confused. Most organizations are smaller when they're doing this, so they don't really have any background. Certainly, U.S. customers don't have really much experience with foreign currencies, so they're lost, right? And I treat it as a commodity. I put it on inventory. What do I do, right? So the idea here is the fact that Bitcoin is really just another ledger. All we're doing is synchronizing the ledgers between the financial system and the blockchain. Let's get that done really seamless so that you have the audit trail and so forth, and really hands-free between all bookkeeping requirements.
Excellent.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, the gift. So I came in a little bit late, maybe you said this in the intro, but are you targeting SMB, are you targeting the big boys, are you going to be integrated with other systems like PeopleSoft SAP or stand sort of down market a little bit? And what's sort of the path and expectation there?
So we architected it so that other ERP packages could follow this sort of implementation. I already have Great Plains and AX partners that are signing up to go forward with it. Really, it's more around the opportunity of somebody who's going to speculate, because all of us, we don't go anywhere, right? And if the regulatory environment gets cold or hot, whatever you think about it, right? It shuts down the space. So, it's a speculative endeavor.
And it's just a simple, I'm not super technical, it's just an API, a REST-based API that precisely with a lot of authentication, or what's the authentication on it?
It's got an enterprise level backbone, right, which works on the Bitcoin network, and then basically we're using REST calls, and some of the things we're thinking about doing is locking it down to particular data centers and so forth. And part of the architecture of this is that we're not pushing at all into the accounting systems. The accounting systems hold so much more scalable. Right?
Okay, cool, thanks.
Are there other questions?